welcome back to Shawanas World. Okay, so let me fix myself. Before we get started, I want to remind you guys to please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to smash the notification button. So you guys are probably wondering who I have next to me. I have the wonderful Miss
Rocky Brown.
This is my second guest on my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna talk about some fun stuff. Ooh. Rocky, can you tell the people, the viewers, about what you do?
So, I'm an actress by heart and by primary profession, but I also do lots of other things in what they call the gig economy. So to support my acting life, my acting pursuits, I've done everything from work in childcare as a nanny, I've worked in catering, I've worked in
all different types of things.
All different types of things. I'm also launching a wellness brand and website, and so that's a current creative outlet and project and source of income that's on its way.
As thespians, artists, actors, as ourselves, we are entrepreneurs, like we're business owners. You know, we don't work a 9 to 5. We have to create ways to make money, you know, until we land our big role.
Exactly.
I know it's a lot of people out here wondering, well, how do y'all survive? Like, what do y'all do? Do y'all have regular jobs? What are y'all doing to make money? How are you surviving in LA, which LA is so expensive, which I've talked about before. So this new generation of found technology and millennials creating ways for people of our generation to kind of work for ourselves instead of working for someone else.
Exactly, and so the cool thing is that it does create this new market that they call the gig economy, where there's so many options. And the main thing, especially when you're an artist, is for both of us being actors, and then there's musicians and anybody that's in the pursuit. Or I even met people who, I met a guy that his dream was to create a photography company and to have enough work as a photographer to support himself. But before he did that, he was in the gig economy, and he was like, yeah, I drove for Uber for 2 years, and then he was able to use that money to invest in new equipment to really get himself off the ground. And now he's free to be an artist, but he had to use the money from the gig economy to, like, one, survive and like pay his rent, keep food on the table, but then he used that also to establish himself creatively. So I think that's really the cool thing, especially in a market like LA. There's so many apps, and we're gonna talk about all of them, or as many as we can, because we've worked on a lot of them. And so we'll start breaking them down now.
We're gonna start off by talking about the one that everybody knows about. This one is nationally known: ride sharing.
Ride sharing is the overall umbrella.
How many of y'all have wrote for Uber or Lyft or
Sidecar used to be another one.
Sidecar.
That one ended though, like that one couldn't keep up. So
Really?
they shut it down.
Oh,
It came out around the same time. But you ever taken a ride?
No, I haven't taken a ride, but I've heard of Sidecar, but I didn't know that they shut it down.
Yeah, and they really tried to stay alive. Like they came out around the same time as Lyft and Uber, and then they kind of tried to switch over to deliveries, and I think they still got outbeat with Postmates because they were killing them. I remember getting an email eventually like, oh, we're sorry, it's ending, and you're just like, okay.
Was it orange?
Yeah.
Yes! I remember signing up for that. Wow. Those are the two popular ones. You have the Uber and then Lyft. And then there's one that's called
Hop, Skip, Drive.
Hop, Skip, Drive. Now, is Hop, Skip, Drive anywhere else but LA? Or is it only
At the moment, I think it's mostly California market. So it might be in a few other markets in California, like San Francisco and San Diego, but it's a West Coast thing at the moment. It's for kids. So like for parents, which as a parent, please do not put your very young children in Uber and Lyft. So I don't, technology is there. People are background checked on these platforms, but you never know who's who. If you have like an elementary school kid, you'd want to use a platform like Hop, Skip, Drive, because it's all people who've been like thoroughly background checked, making sure that they're not on any kind of like registry for any kind of, child abuse or
sex offenders.
Sex offenders, exactly. And so that way you would feel okay about putting your anywhere from like 6 to 10-year-old in a hop, skip, drive ride, as opposed to an Uber. Like, please don't put your very young, under teenage kids in an Uber or Lyft. It's not I wouldn't recommend it, even though I trust both of those platforms as my own personal, to get myself around as well as to drive for.
Okay, so those are the 3 popular rideshare ones that we all know about. The next one is babysitting and nannying, which Rocky is like number 1 on that list. Like, isn't that what you do as far as like your main source of income, or is it kind of like number 2, number 3?
It was my second job that I've ever had. Like, my first job I was a lifeguard, and that was in South, because, you know, we from Florida. One shout out to Floridians. So yeah, Florida first job was as a lifeguard, but then because I worked with kids and I taught them swim lessons, my sister was working at a daycare, so it just kind of was this natural progression into childcare. That's how I got into it. And then now, shout out to my sister, Kokua Kids is her platform in South Florida. She's starting her own agency which is a great way to get into babysitting. If you're somebody who you're not sure how to start, or you don't live in a neighborhood where you can like promote, or you live in an apartment building where maybe you don't necessarily know which of your neighbors have kids, cool places to start are with an agency or with like apps. Care.com, really popular.
Care.com is popular.
And then Urban Sitter are like the 2 that I've heard of and heard of the most success with, that people are like, yeah, I connect with this family, and then they get either full-time nanny jobs, part-time, sometimes just what they call date night sitters. With children, it is something that's so personal. You're going into people's homes, which is really intimate, so people take it pretty personal to really get to know you when you babysit. One of the platforms I worked on is LA Sitter, which has also extended out to a nanny agency called like Nannies of LA. And the cool thing with them is that they actually certify all of their babysitters and nannies to this company called Trustline. So every month, every like 30 days, every single sitter that they have is having their background check run. Stay safe, be calm. If you're gonna work with kids, you gotta keep your record clean, keep your Facebook, social media, the importance of like
what you're putting out there.
What you're putting out there. Just know people are watching everything.
All the time.
So just be mindful about what you're sharing. You want to share only the most decent.
The most decent, y'all. I know what y'all be up to. The next one is delivery. So there's a lot of delivery services in LA. Popular one, which is Postmates. And then there's Instacart. And Instacart is the one where you go grocery shopping.
Yeah, you'll find it inside like Whole Foods, and you'll see people like going around and they're picking up groceries
with their black shirt and the orange green.
Exactly.
Right, okay, I've seen that.
So yeah, with Instacart, you could either apply to be the shopper, or you can apply to be the driver. So then there's someone, so after the shopper does all the shopping, they hand off the bags to the driver, and the driver would literally just take the bags and deliver them. So they, in a lot of markets, some markets they said that there's still places where if it's not busy enough, like in the outskirts of LA or smaller places like San Diego or whatever, they might have somebody still go in and do the shop and the, but again, it's a less saturated market, it's less busy, but the busier the market you're living in, you're gonna see that there's more opportunity. It's a blessing because it's creating this new industry and new jobs, and it's creating ease for people who are using these platforms who like don't have time to go grocery shopping, so they can just send their grocery list to somebody. Use Postmates and Uber Eats if you want food
like
from a restaurant, fast food, and Instacart or Amazon Fresh if you want groceries. Don't send nobody from Postmates for them to go get groceries from your local Trader Joe's and give them 100 things to pick up, and then they make $5. It's not fair.
I know.
Yeah, don't do that. Just know there's a difference. There's an app for everything. There's a platform for everything.
So those are the ones that are popular.
The most popular.
Right.
Did we talk about Caviar and Grubhub?
Not yet.
Yeah.
So we have Caviar, which is another platform for delivery, and then you have Grubhub. And Grubhub is it's almost the same as Postmates. You know, just delivering fast food, literally all the same. That's for delivery. Now we have, which is also very popular in LA. I don't know if it's as popular anywhere else, but I know
probably New York. Like a market like New York or San Francisco, where there's stuff happening.
Right, like metropolitan areas.
Yes, metropolitan cities. So I would say all the big ones: New York, Chicago, Miami,
Atlanta.
Yes,
San Francisco,
Dallas, and the bigger cities in Texas. They're definitely. But LA is event central. Like everything. That's what I love about living here. It's like everything comes to us. So and everywhere that you go to, the goal is free food. Like we want there to be food there. So that's why we need the caterers, and this is like your forte. Like you gave me the plug on this one, so you gotta tell us how to really work this angle.
Catering business, it's really, really flexible. You'll get offers to work and you can either accept them or deny them. Now the thing about catering services, it almost works as like an agency, so like a staffing agent. So what they'll do is they'll take a percentage of what the client offers and then they'll pay you a cut of it. Staffing companies aren't my favorite because you get the lower end of the pay. I like to work directly through the catering company where you work with the chef and that company as a whole. My preference. I've done it all. I started off in this business doing all staffing agencies, and then I was like, wait a minute, how much you make? I was asked a question like, wait, what other company, you know, so I asked along the way, other people, what other companies you work for? And then they tell me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, how do I get in with them? And that's how I found out about other specific catering companies that paid higher.
What makes a gig better when it comes to catering? Like what?
Besides the pay rate.
Well, yeah.
I would say the way they treat you and how they value you as a worker. You know, with certain staffing agencies, you're just a number because there's so many employees or caterers, servers that they have versus smaller companies. They know you, it's more personable, you know, you feel you're treated better. It's almost like being principal versus background, and this is just reality. Background don't get treated as good as principal. They don't get paid the same. So it's almost the same as catering, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the difference to me. But catering is, you know, another way of making a living here. That's what I did. Like catering was my bread and my butter. Like that's where I was making my money and surviving without like a 9-to-5 job for almost like 2 to 3 years until I got a job for a little bit.
Yeah, and with catering, though, what are the hours typically? Because like...
So with catering, the hours are usually like 6 to 8 hours. You'll see a lot of entertainers who work for catering companies, and they don't only work for one, they work for like 7, like a lot. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's as far as catering is concerned. And I put her on to some catering companies. I put a lot of people on to catering companies because, you know, we gotta make that money.
Yes, and with catering, just know there is a few requirements, which even me, I was learning some new stuff. Like every caterer needs to have a wine bottle opener. I'm like, I don't have one that I'm gonna keep. Yeah, but you're gonna now have to keep one in your car or with you. Apron. Where do you get those things? Like, and then a button-up shirt, either a black, white, and then some decent slacks, which are just simple slacks, black or khaki. So where do you get like the more specific things? Or like, where do you get an apron from? Like, just order it online.
You can order it online, but honestly, with the aprons, I think I just collect them over time with like all the companies that I've worked for.
Oh, some companies provide them?
Yeah, like one of the companies I had provided aprons. So I was lucky enough to have that, and I've just been collecting aprons ever since. Another gig economy is background.
Central Casting is probably the most popular one, and they now have offices in Louisiana and in Atlanta because they're coming up as markets where there's a lot of filming happening. So if you are out in those markets and you're not in LA, you can still, you know, get your feet wet, try it out, see what it's like. It's a really fun, interesting job. I mean, every day is different, but that's the gig economy in general. Every day is different, whether you're catering, ride sharing, babysitting. Like, you just have to be down for whatever and be open and just say like, and ready, being willing to just go with it and say, I'm getting this paper, like I'm not playing.
I gotta get this money.
Exactly.
I gotta pay this expensive rent. I still got other expenses, my credit card bills, my student loans, my phone bills.
You still want to have a good life and have some fun and go out and hang out with your friends, so that's all important. So Central Casting is probably the most popular one. They have thousands of people registered. Their registration process is very interesting.
So dramatic.
A little bit, but I don't know, it's changed. So make sure you check the website if you are interested in doing it, because when you get to Central Casting, which their offices are in Burbank, California, so just the Valley of LA, and they actually hire you like that day on the spot. Like they have you do paperwork, they send you through a whole orientation.
Take a picture of you.
Take a picture, so be camera ready. You can even bring outfit changes. So if you can start off, you might want to start off in just a basic shirt and don't wear no red, white, or black. That's it. It's always the rule on set and for the orientation. There's a limit to how many people they do per orientation, and when like when there's like a 50, I think it's 50 to 60 seats that they have in. I heard a weird number like 67 seats. But when those seats are full, you're not getting in. So if you're number 68, like they're not gonna like let you stand up in the back. Like you have to have a chair. So if you don't get there in enough time, and usually by the time it's like 8 a.m., there's over 67 people in the line. So you have to make sure that you're there early to sign up. When you do book something through Central, it's all these different TV shows, and you can get to see where sets are. So if you are someone who's interested, even if you're not an actor. And
it's a good networking platform as well, because for me, I was able to network and meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
Find out more about the industry, find out how to join SAG. I know with Central Casting, if you get like 3 SAG vouchers, you become eligible. Like there's just so much I learned just doing background, and being able to be on set and, you know, watch other people perform. So it was a very humbling experience. A lot of people look down on it. I'm not trying to be a professional background actor, neither is Rocky, I'm sure, but it is a good experience. I can say I've done it and I know how it's like. So it's funny when I'm working on set and I see background actors, I'm like, oh my God, I was there once. So it's just huge markets for background
and
acting.
you can jump in right away, and they pay really fast. They send your checks in like a week. It's great. And then like to bring it back to catering, you get to eat catered food on set. So it is a job that includes food. Yes. Yeah, and it's good food. And then there's craft services, which are snacks.
Literally, that's the best part. It's that you get to eat. You get like food, like you. If you just go to work, you don't have to worry about cooking. You just go and there's meal prepared and there's good food. That was all one of my favorites. Outside of me and Angela Bassett. Hey Angie, hey Auntie.
Lots of food. And then there's a couple others, extra casting, and then there's Virgo, that's an app, and they also tend to do a lot of commercial background work. So those are cool because those are like usually higher rates. Yeah. Like I said, it's a cool, fun, interesting opportunity to see the other side, or to see the like behind the scenes of set life.
Set life, which is also amazing.
Yes,
the food is great. So the last but not least is freelance. Freelance is pretty much an independent contractor who has to find work for yourself. A service under freelance is like TaskRabbit, which is one that I actually just signed up for. It's kind of like you create your own business in a sense, and it's a great opportunity to establish your own rate. And there's so many different services under TaskRabbit, and that one is really, really good. They said it's hard to get in, but it didn't take me long. Honestly, I got in within like 3 weeks, and someone told me it took them like 6 months. I guess it just depends on the season, when they're busy, when they're not busy, but TaskRabbit is a good one. Yes. And Upwork, which I'm not
platform.
as familiar, but it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, the thing too with both TaskRabbit and Upwork is that the primary thing is that you have to have an interest or a skill. So like you have to kind of know what you're good at. So if you know that you're good at like logistical things like creating spreadsheets and invoices, and you can offer that service as like a personal assistant.
Or an accountant.
Or you can be an assistant, an accountant or assistant, bookkeeper,
cleaner.
If you know you're good at cleaning, or you can offer. But so I think that's the main thing with both of those, TaskRabbit and Upwork. The dogs, this is your thing. She's into dogs.
Yeah, I like
pets or
doggies. I mean, I grew up with dogs, so I don't mind. They have WAG. WAG is also another one I just signed up for, y'all. So I'm gonna be walking dogs. It's pretty simple. You run your own schedule. You turn it on. You see what dog.
Right?
Well, no, we don't set the rates. No, they set the rates. I guess within the parameter of your area, you turn it on, and then you have all these. They call them waggers. I'm still learning, so please don't quote me. But pretty much people who got dogs, they'll turn on their app, and if they have a dog they want you to walk for like 30 minutes, they charge how much they'll pay you, which is $18, $12. It ranges, and then you select which one you want to do. You have to buy a shirt. I had to order a shirt for $35. I was like, what? But we haven't given stuff for free, guys. No, I had to pay for my shirt. Anyways, my shirt just came, so I got an email just right before we started. I got an email, so my shirt came.
So they're figuring out because the main thing with the gig economy is that it is a revolving door, so people can go in and out of it. So like when we book something like a longer term, like a film or a show, and you know that you're not going to need to work the gig economy, or that you don't even have the time to because you're going to be on set, or you're going to go on tour because you're a musician. The cool thing is like you don't have to send a 2-week notice. You just stop, turn off the apps, you just leave, you go. There's no quitting. I mean, people, they move from platform to platform. They go from their, usually, and sometimes a lot of times it's an interim thing. Like even the recent thing that happened with the like shutdown, I'm sure there was plenty of people probably having to jump on a couple of these apps. It's a great way to support your artistic and creative life. It gives you the most important thing is flexibility and time freedom. You set your own schedule. So, I mean, and in a city like LA, these jobs are available 24 hours a day. So if you even want to be up in the middle of the night working, you most likely can find something to do and make yourself a little change.
And it's beautiful because it's flexible
awesome.
and you can just work. Like that's what we do, we work.
I just know it's a stepping stone. We're all getting to our bigger vision in life, okay? So.
And we just, honestly, the whole 9 to 5 just does not work for an actress. Like it's difficult. I mean,
unless you got a really cool boss, which
right.
you know, that doesn't always happen.
It's not common, you know what I mean? And it's either you have a job and you have to cancel an audition to work for somebody who
or lie, you have to just keep killing off your grandma. Grandma died, can't come in today.
sick. My heart broke down. Oh
no, tire flat again.
Oh my God, you know, whatever excuses, like it only goes so far. So
yeah, those don't last for too long. But the cool thing with the economy is you don't need an excuse.
Nope.
No excuse, and no excuse to not go out there and make yourself some money so you can pursue your highest endeavors.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys learned everything you needed to learn as far as the gig economy, which is this idea, you know, who thought of this word? Like gig economy, where'd you hear from? I can't remember, you told me.
There's a company that's actually creating a platform to like trying to bring them all together. It's called Shift Gig. So there's apps that are trying to put together the apps. But it's a shift gig where you can just pick up shifts at these gig type jobs.
Wow.
So yeah, the term was coined. I don't know by who specifically, but it's been around now for over 5 years because Uber and Lyft have been here for almost 10 now. But it's just finally blowing up where everybody's comfortable with it finally and using it. So yeah, here we are.
Awesome. So if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to drop them down below. Once again, don't forget, if you haven't yet, like, comment, and subscribe, and smash that notification. Why can't I get it out? Smash the notification bell, and you guys can follow Rocky at
Rock Dots on Instagram and Twitter, and at INH Perfection Instagram and Twitter again.
Yes, and don't forget, you can follow your girl at Shawanas World on all social media platforms. Thank you guys. See you guys next time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.